Hello and welcome to the Knit Girls. This is episode 573. I'm Laura, also known as Lala.
I'm Laura. No, I'm not. I'm Leslie. Also known as You Don't Call Me Les.
Gotcha.
I was looking at your face when I did that. Today is the 5th of
Cinco de Mayo.
May. Cinco de Mayo, that's right. Laura and I both use the she, her pronouns. And I'm probably going to forewarn people in this episode that I've had a crappy day. And I'm in a crappy mood. But
I was not forewarned about this. I was told to come over.
Well, that's not I'm not in a crappy mood necessarily. I just had a migraine earlier, and thankfully my nurse practitioner has given me some pills that help, and that's wonderful, and I'm thrilled about that. But they also have the potential to become addictive, so I dislike taking them.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just been a crummy day overall. PMSing, cramping, you know, all that super fun stuff.
All that girl stuff.
Yep. But Laura's probably not in a crappy mood. She's wearing a hand-spun sweater, so she's not allowed to be in a crappy mood.
And I was a supervisor today, so we're so old. We're just talking about pain. So I've had some shoulder issues because I've been scanning thousands of books for inventory. So today I was like, I am going to sit by my computer and the kids can tell me when they have one that can't scan, and I will type it in for them. So I'm going to be like, up north we would call that like a PennDOT supervisor as a joke, like, you know, when they're making, like, doing roadworks. And there's just that one person.
DOT, okay.
One of those people just standing watching everyone. That was me today. Except I was sitting.
The person holding the little stick that says stop and go. I mean, it's a valid thing. It needs to happen. But that would be the thing I would want to do on a construction crew, to like hold the stick that says stop or go.
They have to be on the radio, so I don't know that you would like that. They radio each other when they have to flip.
Oh.
But
oh,
not even that. I would just be the person standing there.
Yeah. It made me think of construction work, and it made me remember that Mike Rowe put out a new season of Dirty Jobs.
Oh.
Did you ever watch that?
I loved Dirty Jobs.
I did too, and there's a new season. It's on Plex.
Oh, interesting.
Michael put it on Plex. We've only watched the first couple of episodes, but
is it good?
One of the first ones is doing construction work. And so if you haven't seen Dirty Jobs, it was a show, you know, I think they stopped producing it about 5 or 6 years ago, and I think there are like 7 or 8 seasons of it. But Mike Rowe is a
and he just kind of disappeared, I feel like.
He's sort of a comedian, but he's also an opera singer, or he used to be. Really interesting guy, but he would basically take a new job for a day with a camera crew.
Yep.
And it was like traditionally very dirty or difficult jobs.
Yeah, like docking sheep.
Yes, or sexing chickens, like chicks, baby chicks.
Oh.
Or at one point he climbed into the fuel thing of a
aircraft.
Yes.
Yeah.
Really,
I remember that.
Interesting. And so they're redoing the series. I don't know if it's just one season or not, because he's in his 50s now. But they're redoing the series because he's trying to promote people getting into a trade.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because fewer and fewer people are entering trades. Yeah. So the first couple episodes, there was like construction work, and there was
it's very valid careers.
Metal, a lot of metal work. Yeah, it's interesting. It's hard work, but it's very interesting to see Mike Rowe go into these different jobs. So anyway, that was a sidebar. But if you like Dirty Jobs, there's a new season out.
Nice.
So what are you working on?
I just started when we sat down, the toe of a sock. So I don't even know what yarn colorway this is. Maybe you remember. I think it's Garden Jeans.
I haven't tried that one.
But this is a Knit Spin Farm colorway. It's one of her self-stripings. This is a Targhee Sportweight. And I have a very small toe. So the way I do my toes is I cast on a total of 28 stitches, 14 per needle using Judy's Magic Cast On, and then I increase out until I get to 28 stitches on each side, 56 total. So I have
decreased
just
down
started.
to just 14 on each needle too. That's the same number I end with. So
Yeah. And I do my socks toe up on size 1 needles if they're sport weight, and double zeros now if they're not sport weight, which is why you see me knitting a lot of sport weight socks. Plus, if it's cold enough to wear socks, I like cushy socks. I'm wearing sport weight.
you wear socks every day of the year.
I do.
So
I do in the summertime. I wear Rose City rollers a lot. I got like a bunch of pairs of Rose City rollers. Some of them are out
those
of
are like
hand
shorty
spun.
socks.
Yep. But yep, or I wear my Toms. Those are my 2 options. So that is the first thing that I currently have on the needles, and that is going with me to Maryland Sheep and Wool this weekend. I'm trying to figure out if I want to cast on something else to take to Maryland too.
Dude, don't. Just take socks.
The other thing that I have on my needles, I don't think I'm going to take to Maryland. I'm in the middle of a row. Whatever. It is.
She's always in the middle.
I'm always in the middle of a row. I always put my knitting down, and that's like one of the big things when I first started knitting. My mom was like, never put your knitting down in the middle of a row. But I did get a good bit of work done on the sweater. It is around 4 inches from the underarm now, like that way. So that is slowly but surely making progress. This is Cloud Cover by Heidi Kermayer, and I am knitting it out of some hand spun that I spun. It took me like 2 years to spin it. It is all Hello Yarn, different Rambouillet colorways. I think did I send you the picture of all the different? Yeah. So all the different ones that got combined for this spin, with Pearl looking on in disdain in the background, because anytime I put anything on the floor, there is like
That's
a total.
Her property. I mean,
yeah, there's a look of disdain. Pearl is my Great Pyrenees. So yeah, that's going pretty well. I have around I'm gonna say 13, 14 more inches to go. And then after that, there will be a giant collar, and then there will be sleeves. The only reason I'm thinking about taking this to Maryland is if it's cold, because it's supposed to be like a high of 55, then this in my lap would keep me warm a little bit.
Because there's not going to be any knitting or wool or fiber, anything else that could possibly keep you warm.
No.
I think that's just going to take up valuable space.
That's what I was thinking. So
carry on.
The way I pack for events that are larger that I think I will be taking a fleece home from is I tend to pack 2 suitcases, one inside another one, and then I also do a carry-on. And the carry-on actually has like my clothes and stuff in it, and then the suitcases are totally empty, and then that gives me room for
So she
stuff.
packs, the suitcases fit inside each other. And
Yep.
so in the smaller one, she'll put like toiletries or whatever.
and that's probably it.
And
Toiletries
then
and my umbrella, I think.
anything that she's okay with losing if the airline loses the luggage,
Yep.
because that's happened to her. And then she'll put that inside the big one. So on the way there, she's only, like, it's only one
Yep, it's
piece of
one
luggage.
checked bag.
And on the way back,
It'll
like,
be 2 checked bags.
Because it'll be full of stuff, yeah.
And my carry-on that I'll carry on with me will have like my sweaters, my hand-knit sweaters
Your
and stuff in
technology
it.
stuff.
Yeah. I have a duffel from Tom Bin that I got for my birthday, so that's gonna be my carry-on. That way it's not on wheels. I've been noticing, I haven't flown since 2020, but prior to 2020, if I had a carry-on that didn't have wheels, it was more likely to be able to stay on the flight than a carry-on that did have wheels.
Well, it's more smushable, so it can
Yeah.
fit in more places. So.
Yep. Yeah. So that is what is happening. Hopefully, knock on wood, both flights will be fine. I have like 2 stops on the way there and 2 stops back.
Oh,
This used to be a
God.
direct flight.
That sounds like hell.
I know. And now I fly into Atlanta.
Uh-huh.
I have to switch gates, switch planes, and then it flies to like Raleigh
Oh.
and picks up more people.
Oh.
And then it goes to Baltimore. And on the way back, it's like Minneapolis stay on the plane. Chicago, I'm totally getting popcorn. I got very loud there because I love popcorn.
From what's that place? I forget.
Nuts on Clark.
Yeah.
And then back to Memphis, and I get in at like 1 a.m. Sunday morning.
All this is doing is cementing me being glad I'm not going.
Yeah, so it's gonna be fun though.
I'm sure it will, and I'm sad that I'm not going to get to see people. And the event itself is great. It's not that; it's the amount of mental energy, the number of spoons it takes to get through the travel that is the barrier for me.
Hey, in like 9 years when I retire, there won't be state testing. It'll take loads of time. We could drive it if we wanted. We could go to my parents, drop off Pearl, then go up.
Take a train.
I wish there was a train that did it. I wonder if there's a train that goes from Knoxville to Maryland.
No idea.
I don't know. I wish there was better, kind of like Europe has great trains. I wish there was better train service in the center of the United States of America.
Yeah, it's pretty good on the coast, so it's not pretty good. It's okay on the coasts. But
the Northeast is pretty good.
In the middle of the country, there's not a lot.
Yeah. So those are the two things that I'm working on. I'm wearing Recalibrate by Sheena Lines Designs. This is out of Handspun. I wore it to work today. No one said anything. It made me kind of sad. We had to wear green today for Children's Mental Health Awareness, which I totally forgot about, but I had this on, so it worked. So that was good.
So do you have anything else on your needles?
Nope, just those two things.
Oh, okay.
Look at me go.
So I've got a couple of things on my needles. Both are new from last week.
Ooh, I can't wait to see. I don't think I've seen either.
Well, one of them's just a swatch, and I cast it on as we started.
Oh yeah, I did see that.
So,
I'm aware of the thing that you were about to talk about.
So I got some yarn at something Skeins, Sheep Skeins, which is a fantastic yarn shop in Indiana.
I think we're in Indiana.
Yeah, somewhere in Indiana. We went on a trip last year to visit some friends, and sort of by accident found this great yarn shop.
They had giant recliners.
Oh my god, it had such a huge space for like community. It was great. And a ton of yarn. Great selection. So I got this Elizabeth Lavold Silky Wool. And I've knit with Silky Wool before. I'm very happy. It's a wool silk nylon blend. And it's sort of washed out pink color or purple color. Sort of a grayish purple. Sort of tweedy looking, and I'm swatching, I just cast on, I'm swatching on size 7s. The pattern calls for 6s. I always go up a needle size to swatch, and usually to knit. And this has been in my queue for ages. It's like number 190 something out of 400.
Oh, wow.
So it's called Bagamoyo by Catherine Folkerth, and it's sort of a mesh top.
Yeah, it's got aero lace.
With solid sleeves. And it had a fair number of projects in it, and there were a fair number of them on larger people, and it looked good. So I'm trying to swatch and knit it out of the yarn that I have, the Silky Wool.
Oh, it calls for Zoe.
Yeah, which is a Juniper Moon yarn.
I knit a sweater out of Zoe a couple of years ago.
And I do like how she does the different measurements.
Oh, that's a super clever way of doing a schematic.
Yeah, so
if you are not, like,
if you have a hard time visualizing things.
But also, like, if you are not an illustrator, as a designer, that is a super clever way of doing a schematic. So
this is Catherine Folkerth. I think I got the pattern during one of the indie gift-alongs, because it is a paid pattern. Yeah, so I'm swatching for that. Hopefully I will get gauge. And the other thing I cast on last night, because I just wanted something kind of brainless I decided to rewatch Wild Wild Country.
Yes, I just rewatched that recently.
And
With someone who had never seen it before. Maybe my sister at Christmas. Yes,
Oh,
that's
okay.
who it was. I forced her and my brother-in-law to watch it.
This is caught up in everything. So I grabbed a couple of colors of hip strings in the Advent set, or was it Advent? The base 12 thing that they do at Christmas.
Yeah.
So I grabbed a couple of.
You were using those and ripped them out,
I did.
right?
I was doing a brioche thing, and I just didn't. A, I didn't like how it was coming out, and B, it had significantly decreased in size where it was not supposed to. So I cast on. I'm holding the two yarns together and cast on South Marysburg slipper, which I think it's a free pattern. It's linked in the show notes, and it goes straight to the blog of the designer, Sam Lamb. And,
that sounds familiar.
Well, Amy Beth has knit lots of these,
Okay.
apparently. Because this is where I first saw them, I think, was on an old Amy Beth episode. So they're kind of like a sock, like a hand knit sock, but without the cuff and a bigger opening for your foot. So, yeah, you start with the heel flap. That's what you cast on. You knit the heel flap, you turn the heel, and then you knit the bottom of the foot up until a certain length, and then you cast on for the top. I added about an inch of space here because I have a very wide instep proportionally to the rest of my foot. So I added a little bit of length there so that I won't have any trouble getting it on my foot, hopefully. And now I'm just at the point where I keep going until I get to the toe, and then I just decrease like a normal toe.
So that's fingering weight held doubled?
Mm-hmm. The pattern's written for DK, I think.
Okay.
Or worsted, I can't remember, one of the two. And I didn't make any attempt to check gauge. If these don't fit me, they'll fit somebody, and then I'll change it on the next time because it's a quick thing. And then once you're done, you go around with a bigger needle and do some ribbing, I think, around the edge. There is a little bit of edge work. I can't remember what it is. But yeah, so this is, I just cast it on last night. It's a pretty quick so far.
So those sets I thought were gradients. So will they be two different color slippers? Or do you think you'll get...
I don't know.
Okay. I don't know if you get two slippers out of that one.
I probably will get two slippers out of the set. I may get even more than that because it doesn't take a ton of yarn. So, yeah, and I could do the ribbing in a different color if I want to. So
absolutely.
Yep. Nothing fantastic or special, but I've been wanting to knit slippers for myself for a while, and I just never get around to doing
Me too.
it. So
I need to get on that. Because it'd be nice, like, this weekend when I'm traveling and staying at someone else's house to have, like, a pair of slippers that are not hard sole, just to throw on at the end of the day. To keep my feet nice and toasty.
I forgot to put this in the show notes, but I'll try to remember to do it before I put this up. But I pulled this out again. This is I don't actually have it with me. Spring Bouquet Pillow. It's a Crewel, Crewel pattern.
Oh, cool.
So it's like an embroidery pattern, but you use a wool, a 2-ply wool. So I finished the first one ages ago. This is the first one, and you turn it into a pillow when you're done. And I picked it up and did some work on the center flower.
I wonder what type of wool they use. Like,
it's called Crewel, Crew.
No,
but I don't know what breed it is.
Specific. Yeah.
It's not like super soft or anything. But yeah, I'm planning on taking this with me this weekend over to Laura's house because I'm watching Pearl while she's out of town.
Yeah.
So this is a quick, or it's a not quick, but it's a everything fits in this bag.
If you wanted.
So I can, but I'm more comfortable sitting on my big fat ass, like laying back on the thing. So we'll see.
You can do that spinning on a Daedalus too.
That's true, but the spinning I want to do is woolen. And I prefer to do that on a treadle wheel. So.
Gotcha.
Do you have anything finished?
I do have a finished object. I have two actually, because they're a pair of socks.
Oh, okay.
I made it sound like I have more than I do.
I mean, a pair of socks is nothing to sneeze at.
No. I'm happy with a pair of socks. So I finished the Zinnia Warrior Princess socks today. I just have to weave in the ends. I'm really happy with how these turned out. Same as what I'm doing now, except this is a superwash merino sport weight instead of the superwash Targhee. Cast on 14 for the toe up, went up to 56 total stitches, knit 7.5 inches, did Wendy's heel width gusset, which is my favorite, then knit couple, like 4 or 5 inches, did some ribbing. Buffy's very involved. All of this was done on a size 1 needle, and I have a new pair of socks. A new pair of very springy socks. So, I may... No, I'm not going to weave. I'll weave in the ends, but I was thinking, oh, I should take those with me this weekend to wear. But I've already packed socks, 3 pairs, just in case one pair gets wet, because it's supposed to rain the whole weekend. But I bought rain boots just for this weekend.
I think I bought rain boots for one of the Marylands. I don't remember which one, when I was in Jersey, because I would go every year when I was in Jersey. But yeah, one of the years it's supposed to rain a lot, and I think I bought boots for that as well.
I have my brown Keen waterproof boots that I'm actually wearing right now, but the overalls I'm wearing are black based, so I bought black rain boots.
I mean, you're a grown up. You can do whatever you want, my friend.
Now I have 2 pairs of like, these are Keen boots, so they're not rain boots. They're not
galoshes. Like
yes,
wellies.
The other ones that I just purchased kind of look like Converse, but they're waterproof, so like high top Converses. But yeah, that is my finished object. I do have some spinning. Do you have any sewing or anything?
I have some finished stuff.
Oh, I totally skipped you. Go ahead and go.
Well, no, you just showed your finished things. So.
Yeah.
So I have 3 finished things.
Whoa.
Even though when Laura texted me about recording, I was like, I didn't do anything. It's only been like 4 days. And I'm like, oh, well, I actually finished several things.
It's been more than 4 days, too.
We recorded
Saturday,
so Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So, I'm sorry, it's been 5 days. Yeah, so let me finish the stitch. There we go. I'm sorry, Buffy. I didn't mean to scare you, baby girl.
Yes, she did, Buffy.
So I finished my coloring book day socks. These are, the colorway is coloring book day from Knit Spin Farm. The pattern is nothing.
You worked on that when we spent time with Rick.
I did.
We got to have dinner with Rick of Whimsy Stitches.
Yes, and we made poor decisions about choosing a restaurant. So I got from like the ribbing all the way down to the toe.
My coworkers, I was telling them, I was like, man, I went to the worst restaurant this weekend, and I told them which one, and they're like, oh yeah, we could have told you. And I was like, well, thank you. But we got to sit outside on the patio.
Yeah, we got to spend more time with Rick, which is good.
And spend time with Rick, which is always lovely.
Just a very, very long wait for a very empty restaurant. But yeah, so these are my coloring book day socks. They are for me.
Yay!
I do 56 stitches, the same as Laura, but I do mine top down with a heel flap and gusset.
And you knit them on size 2s?
I knit them on size 3s.
Yeah.
Sport weight. So, new pair of socks for me. And then I finished the Bankhead hat as well.
Oh, yay!
So this is out of Suburban Stitches yarn in the Happy Accident colorway. I think it's a regular colorway. I genuinely have no idea. But
I think she has a podcast coming out soon too. She posted about recording today.
I made it longer than normal because I think my sister is probably going to steal it from me, and she likes them to be baggy or drapey or whatever you want to call it. So the yarn was very nice to work with, and the pattern is a free one and relatively simple, even though I managed to mess it up or rewrite it.
Is it a DK or worsted weight?
I don't know.
Okay.
This is a DK. I don't know what the pattern calls for.
Okay.
For me, DK and worsted are pretty interchangeable gauge-wise, at least on small things like accessories. So, yeah, this is Bankhead. All the information about our patterns are in our show notes. Our show notes are on our website, which is TheKnitGirllswith3ls.com. And then the last thing that I finished, which hasn't been blocked yet, is...
Oh, yeah, because you're going to come block that at my house.
And then I totally forgot to bring it.
Yep.
So this is the Brioche Shawl that
And then
I've been working
never
on.
saw you again.
I meant to go yesterday, but I worked forever yesterday. So this is the Airedale by Emily Williams.
So pretty.
I'm really, really happy with how it came out. The colorway is Cosmic Tie-Dye, so it's a very pastel-y sort of variegated, but it's a soft variegated.
So friggin' pretty.
I haven't decided who it's going to go to or what it's going to be for yet, but yeah, it's really pretty. I spent a fair amount of time ripping out, not because of anything wrong with the pattern, but because I decided to add on to it without actually thinking about how I needed to do counting. So yeah, it'll be like a sort of a long boomerang. I've got to block it, and then I'll try to put a picture in next week after I've blocked it. But yeah, I'm very happy with it. It's super squishy. No complaints, even though I spent about as much time ripping as I did knitting.
Well, you were rereading the pattern
Yeah.
so that you could add length. So
Yeah, because the pattern only called for, I think, it ended like right here. So I added 2 full repeats.
it's a good size.
To add length.
Yeah.
Because I had extra yardage, so.
That was a singles yarn.
Yep, it was a singles yarn, which I think is a good use for a shawl because it's not going to get super abraded
Yeah.
around your neck, typically. But, yeah, I really, really dig the colors.
So pretty.
So
I don't think they're showing up on camera as pretty as they
probably not, but it's from The Wandering Flock. Again, it's linked in our show notes, and our show notes are on our website. And that's the entirety of my crafting for the
are.
week.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I talked about this last week. What I'm wearing is the Ramona jacket, and it's a flannel shirt, and that's about as dressy as I felt like I could get today, so.
You're also wearing green.
I am, completely unintentionally. So,
There you go.
you have some spinning, right?
I do. I have a smidge. So I finished my singles from Magically Delicious. This was started at Flyaway.
Magically Delicious was a hip strings.
Yep, it's
right?
a hip strings colorway on Superwash Targhee. Oop. Can I show it?
Do you want me to hold on?
I got it. Okay. Thank you, though. So it's those 3 bobbins. It's going to be a 3-ply, which should even out some inconsistencies I have going on. It will be knit into beloved bonnets. I have 2 baby showers on the 18th to go to, and they're besties, and I thought this would, hopefully, I'll get enough yardage to knit 2 small ones.
Yeah.
They're due in July, so like a newborn size for home from the hospital, just cuteness.
If they're besties, then they'll want to have pictures together.
Probably.
That'll be a cute little prop for the photo.
So, and those are Superwash. And then the other thing that I've been working on has been something for Leslie.
I like stuff. Oh, yeah.
So this is a Turkish from Jenkins.
Spindle. That's what she's talking about.
And it is a 7-gram spindle. This is one of their, begins with an F, not falcons. All theirs are birds. Anyway, I'll think of it in a second.
Flighty little peppers. I don't know.
I'll think
Finch?
of it. Yes, thank you. Jeez, it's been a long day. And I didn't do much of anything. But, yeah, I'm spinning embroidery floss for Leslie out of 100% silk from Inglenook. So, that is my smidge of silk. It will be a 2-ply, I think we decided on. And I am adding lots of twist so that it will pull smoothly through. It is an experiment. If you follow me on Instagram, I did a story link at the top of resources that I'm using to kind of look at to get an idea of what to do. So it is actually probably over 6 yards. Usually embroidery floss
It's between 8 and 10 usually,
Yeah.
somewhere in that neighborhood.
So I will add a little bit more, and then I will
8 and 10 yards per little skein.
Yep, and then I will ply. And the cool thing about Turkish spindles is they create center hole walls.
Yep.
So I'll add a good bit of twist to the ply as well. And
will you ply on that same spindle?
I'll probably wheel ply, just because I don't know how consistent I am with spindle plying. The only plying I've done on a spindle in the past has been ply on the fly.
Ply on the fly, yeah.
So, I don't know, but it's an experiment, maybe. Perhaps. So, those are the two things I am plying currently on my Hanson, the second half of the patchwork yarn kits. So that is being plied. I started last night, put in a good 2 hours during the night, and hope to get that done in the next couple weeks. I'd like to finish it before Stash Dash, just because that's so much yardage to have for Stash Dash. I have other things. I don't want to like front load.
Why?
All my Stash
You're
Dash.
competing against yourself.
Yeah, and that's the thing. If people want to do that, that's fine. But I would like to get this taken care of before then. Stash Dash starts on May 27th and goes through the end of August. We have a link to our Discord, which all the planning and there's a lady in there who seems lovely and has 18 sweaters to finish. And I was like, you will have a whole new wardrobe. That's exciting.
Whoa.
I'm excited. I hope she accomplishes it.
Are they all like close to being done?
I don't know. Some of them just need arms. Yeah, some of them just need sleeves.
Whoa.
Yeah, 18 sweaters.
That's amazing.
That would be like the coolest new wardrobe, like to finish over a summer. Like that amount of progress would be incredible.
Insane. I'm here for that.
So yeah, there's lots of great conversation going on.
So Stash Dash is our annual summer event where we try to just power through some stash and get some things done.
And it can be, anything once it enters your house's stash. So if you want to buy yarn for Stash Dash, you can. If you want to use it as a motivation to move some stash out of your house, like Leslie probably does, you can do that. You can split it and be like,
You're
hey,
competing against yourself,
I got rid of 2 skeins. I'm bringing in 1. You can do whatever you want. We are very flexible with Stash Dash. Because why not?
Yeah.
Why not? But yeah. So that is it for me with spinning. You can see though, if you look at the show notes, I still have a good bit of stuff on the spindles.
Yeah, wheels
and wheels. So there is a good bit there.
But
it's not
like
just flying.
Yeah, you always have a lot sort of going on.
Yeah.
Even if it's not on the wheels yet, it's in your head.
Yeah.
So
it's my head. I am always spinning in my head.
Well, but you're very much a planner when it comes to like how you want to accomplish this and this by this time, and when you're done with that, it's either going to be this or this. Like, and that's great. That's how you work, and that's what motivates you. And rock on.
Yeah.
So, let's see. This is where we talk about what we're reading. So, I'm listening to...
Did you forget how this show works
yes,
for a second?
I did. Mm-hmm. I'm listening to The Seventh Bride by T. Kingfisher. It is sort of a young adult kind of fairy tale. There's no real romance in it. Even though the protagonist is quote unquote a bride, there is no romantic element at all to it. And I mean, I like T. Kingfisher, so I'll basically read anything she writes. And I purchased her new book, Nettle and Bone, but I haven't started it yet because I wanted to finish this first, even though it's in a different world. And I read Seed by Anya Alborn, which is it was a Kindle Unlimited book, and it's sort of a gothic occult horror kind of southern gothic horror. I just finished it last night. And it was okay. I probably won't reread it, but it was fine. I finished, oh no, I have like 30 minutes left of the Justin book in the Damning Stone, that's what it's called. It's Fairy Tales, or it's a Tales of Verania, which is a male-male romance series. It's one of those where it's really hard to love as much as the originals because it's a totally different protagonist. But the main character, well, the people who are the main characters in the first 4 books are also in this book because of a magical thing that goes haywire. They all become children.
Oh.
Including the dragon, the unicorn.
Oh, Gary.
The half giant.
Oh.
Yeah. So there's some really funny parts about that that are in there.
I bet there are.
But it's, it's not my favorite of the series, but it is a good, nice, healthy
What is your
addition.
your favorite of the series?
Probably the second one where they meet the desert dragon.
Yeah.
The emo snake dragon monster thing. The narrator who does the voices in the audiobook, Michael Leslie, is just great. So, that's what I've been. I mean, I'm listening to Chronicles of the Warlands, which is a male-female sort of fantasy wandering warring tribes book. And that's it. What about you?
I'm still listening to the Alpha and Omega series by Patricia Briggs. That's Penguins are in the playoffs. They won in triple overtime the other night, which means they basically played 2 games. And they are playing tonight at 6. So I need to get moving.
This is an intense sport.
But, yeah, can be. So that is going on. Lots of sleeping has been happening. I picked back up Animal Crossing. So I might take that actually on the plane tomorrow. That's a good I'll have some time, like layovers and such.
For sure. And you don't have to be connected except to the internet, except for if you're going to another island, right?
And I stopped paying for that service.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. Because it's like, I don't know, $20 a year or something. It's not expensive, but I wasn't using it. So, why pay Nintendo more money? They've got enough money.
Yeah, if there aren't other games that have online communities that you interact with.
The only thing I have my Switch for is Animal Crossing. See, I did play that other game, though.
We played Mario Party.
Yes, I love Mario Party.
What else? Oh, I watched, we need to talk about Cosby. That's on the Plex as well.
Oh, good.
By, Kamal Bell. Is that Kamal? It's K. I think his name's Kamal. But it's good. It's heartbreaking, of course, but it's good.
I feel like that's when you go into knowing that.
Yeah. Yes. And that's all. That's all I've got. I don't have anything else interesting. I'm going to spend the weekend at Laura's taking care of Pearl and doing some crafting.
Yeah, so when I get back, you will have all the things crafted.
I mean...
The next week's show's on you, friend.
I got some...
I'll have a sock, probably.
I got some embroidery patterns, like, traced so that I can stitch them.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Who knows? But yeah. If you see Laura at Maryland...
Come say hey. I will be wearing overalls and lots of rain gear, apparently. Because
it will be raining. Don't get sweated out.
It's going to be 50s.
I mean, I've heard that before when I've been to events, and it is almost never that. I hope it is for you.
I hope that it doesn't rain. Like, I have a variety of layers packed.
Yeah.
So... I hope that it doesn't rain, but as of right now...
I hope the weather is lovely for everyone who's there.
It is not going to be that way. But maybe that'll cut down on crowds.
That's possible. So yeah, you guys have an awesome weekend, and we'll talk to you again next week.
Bye y'all.